Hey Jet Setters, and thanks for joining me on Takeoff. I'm your host Tara Shapansky, and today we are going to do a walking tour of Gaudi's masterpieces around Barcelona, Spain. Are you guys ready to go? Let's take off. And just like always, I appreciate your love and support by dropping a comment down below. Be sure you like, share, and subscribe. No trip to Barcelona is complete without at least visiting its exterior.
La calle al lado de la plaza esta, literalmente todo recto.
With over a century in the making, Gaudi's masterpiece is so sublime it has wowed visitors throughout its construction. And the man with the plan, Gaudi himself, is buried under his lifetime's work. For 100 years, the Sagrada Família still remains a masterpiece in perpetual progress. But if you want to get inside, you have to plan your tickets way in advance, or you won't get in. So I totally came in from the backside. This is the view from the front.
Nosotros ahora y luego después como...
Alright, let's now go meet up with our tour group so we can learn more about Gaudi's masterpieces.
The one in the Gothic Quarter and the Sagrada Família are the only remaining glass structures that haven't fallen as a result to like the elements, wind, rain, and all of that. But then this market is very significant to Barcelona, to Catalonia, because in the 1700s when the Romans were here, this is where everyone would come and sell their meat. But then as you can see, everything that greets you is meat. The first thing that you see is meat because it's trying to continue the tradition de la boqueria. This is a famous market that was TikTok popularized in 2021, and then it became a tourist trap. But I recommend you go inside there because you're tourists and you should get trapped. I mean, you budgeted for it, I hope. And then that was the story of how it got to be. And also it has the English flag because the UK...
So the story goes is whoever drinks from this fountain will come back to Barcelona rich.
Very nice.
I'm not gonna be rich. No water from here. Let's try the other one.
I gave you guys the money, yes.
How does it work? You lift up?
You have to place it down.
You press it down?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So this is called a pagnotte. This was a tile that was submitted by the people after the Civil War because a Swiss blog blog. Wow. A Swiss newspaper released a news article saying Barcelona was the dirtiest city in Europe. Why? Because none of the streets were paved. They were paved, but they were it had a lot of mud and rainfall like in the 80s. The architecture because of the owner came back when restored in Spain after the war. They brought back religious covenants because a lot of religious covenants, but churches, mosques, they were all shut down. The only one that was still running was the one in the Gothic quarter, the Barcelona Cathedral. But then the person wanted this to be for the monarch, that's why it's Plaza Real, which is Square of the Kings. That's what it's called. And the city council that screwed him over. The architect partnered with the government and the city council to help to get new artists. And since Gaudi was fresh from university, he was like, oh my god, yay, I want to start sculpting because my father was an ironsmith and I want to pay homage to my father as well. So he submitted his ideas of 2 lampposts and the architect was like, oh my god, I love it. Told the city council provided Gaudi a contract with an advance payment. He started the project. So he made 1 lamppost and then he went as a field agent. That's when he started his house. So yeah, that was the story of the government of Spain. They've been screwing people over since then. How do you know this is for a rich family? It's because of the design. How you will know every house is for a rich family is because they try to show off. So this family used to sell umbrellas. That's why it's called Casa de Paraguas, which is umbrellas in Spanish. This family used to work for the government and they were also merchants. So they were very rich. Also, I don't know if it was rich with corruption and they had money. Okay, because this place is a 25-room house, but out of all those rooms there was no toilet. Gothic, but also tell the story of Catalonia, right? So it transcends from dark to light. As you can see, it starts with the dark iron pieces, and then there's a raven because this is the house of the raven, and they want to turn it. But then from darkness to light, and because the houses, this Barcelona is built on squares, the light hits only the top part. So it connects that light, the light shows when it transcends to light. But then this is where Gaudi started also discovering his love for dragon scale. As you can see, the chimneys is in the design of dragon scale. Most people are like, oh, that's a rainbow, but a dragon scale. And then why I actually like this house because inside you see where when you enter the street, this is a horse table, but then there's a tiny little room where the servant because of the horses of the 45. Architects who cried because also inside it's wavy and the level of complexity it takes to make a house wavy, and also the iron looks like it's supposed to be weeds crashing into the waves. As you can see, it looks like intertwined weaves in relation with sea moss and seaweed, but then the tiles is supposed to be fungi, you get what I'm trying to say? The picturesque angle is because the creator of Star Wars came into Barcelona and was inspired by that chimney to make Darth Vader's mask. Can you see it? Yeah. So that's the fun fact about this house. That's Darth Vader. That's where he came from. It's supposed to be dragon scales. Okay, you see that thing on top? It's supposed to be a cross. It acts as a cross because Gaudi was religious, and it also acts as the end of a sword. That whatever the handle. Okay, now we're going to go on the other side, and you guys are going to see a dragon. Okay, because the legend of this house goes that the knight stabbed the dragon in the head. I've gaslit myself into seeing the dragon's head. Most people don't. Sometimes they say the dragon is on the other side because there's an opening, there's an eye opening. You tell me what you think, okay? The sword is that handle. The handle is already inside the dragon. say the story. It's my favorite love story. No, it's not my favorite love story, but it's one of my favorite stories here. But then if you go to the street art tour, there's another lovely love story. But then this surrounds the story of San Jordi, who was a knight that saved a princess. So think of Hunger Games, think of Harry Potter, okay? Because there's this dragon terrorizing this Barcelona, and the king had a way to negotiate with the dragon and find like a resolution, because the dragon came rampage trying to eat everyone. But then the king was like, this cannot be, everyone, you need to sacrifice yourselves, put your name in the goblet, and then every day I will select your name to get eaten by the dragon. Everyone was like in accordance, okay, the king is fair, the king is kind, he's just, we accept our fate. Until one day he pulled out his daughter's name, and then when he pulled out his daughter's name, he was like, I'm sorry girl, you gotta go, because you can't be the only exception. So when the girl was ready to go and accept her fate, ready for the dragon to eat her, from the clouds emerges a knight called Jordi. Boom! Stabs stabs the dragon in the head, and then from the blood of the dragon emerges a rose. That's why on April 23rd, Catalan Valentine's Day, the girls are gifted roses and the men are given books. Yeah.
Men are given what?
Books. Because men are so smart. Yes, we love a man. Yes. So they give you flowers. The girls, everywhere you get a flower or you buy a flower, and then the men get books. So it's a day of books and flowers and love around this story. And this is what Gaudi was inspired by to make Casa Batlló. Ta-da! Now you guys, let's go take our photos. You better all take a photo here.
And that ends our walking tour of Gaudi's Barcelona. Be sure you like, share, subscribe. Thanks, Jet Setters.